So, you want to learn how to solve the 2x2 blindfolded. Chances are that you want to learn the 2x2 blindfolded because someday you hope to learn the 3x3 blindfolded. Now, if that's true, that someday you want to learn how to solve the 3x3 blindfolded, I would like to point out that you don't necessarily have to learn the 2x2 blindfolded first. But that being said, I do think it's a good idea, because I want you to consider the 2x2 as a training cube for the 3x3. Because if you think about it, the 2x2 is just the corners of a 3x3, right? Back when I started learning blind solving, unfortunately, I didn't really feel like there were that many great tutorials about how to solve the 2x2 blindfolded. Thus the reason I'm making this video. In this video, I'm going to try and teach you the blind solving method that you can use on 2x2, and I'll try and teach it in a way that would have made sense to me when I was first learning. So let's get started. Now, how we're going to be solving the 2x2 blindfolded is by utilizing a method called the old Pachman method, and basically what it is just swapping pieces until every single piece is in the right slot, in the right orientation. Now, in order to successfully swap pieces, we are going to need to memorize an algorithm. It should be a pretty easy algorithm to memorize, and it looks just a little bit like this. It has a lot of portions that are pretty similar to a T-perm if you've ever done that algorithm before, so it should be learned pretty quickly because it has a lot of very easy muscle memory portions. In a nutshell, what the algorithm does is if you have a solved cube with white on top and green facing you, it will swap the sticker that is right here, which is part of the orange, white, and blue corner piece. If the cube was solved, it'll swap that sticker with this sticker down here. So if you notice, for the cube to be solved, this would be orange, right? Well, it swapped that orange sticker to down here, and for the cube to be solved, this would have to be yellow, right? And it swapped that one to up here. If any of that seemed confusing, I promise it will make a little bit more sense in a little bit, but just to recap that last part, we will be using this algorithm that will swap this sticker with this sticker in order to solve the cube. Okay, now on to the next part, which is where we really start learning how to solve the cube blindfolded. Now, if you think about it, there are 24 individual stickers on the cube, 6 sides, 4 stickers on each side, so that's 24. And if you recall from the 2nd grade, there are 26 letters in the alphabet, which for us means that we can represent each individual sticker by giving it a letter. Now you might ask why on earth we need to give every sticker a letter. Well, that is basically going to allow us to easily memorize the cube, and I promise it will seem a little bit more helpful in the future. Now this cube might look a little bit confusing, but it's really not that bad, so I'm going to try and explain how the lettering scheme works. I want you to take your 2x2, hopefully solved, with the white on top and the green facing you, and I want you to go this top left sticker. That sticker will now be known as the letter A. And then going in a clockwise format from there on, we're going to go A, B, C, D, and I promise this will take a little bit of time to kind of ingrain into your memory, but it will be worth it in the long run. So A, B, C, D, then we're going to hop over to the orange side, E, F, G, H, once again in a clockwise format, then going from there to the green, I, J, K, L, then another rotation, M, N, O, P, and one more rotation, Q, R, S, T, and then back facing forward and down to the yellow side we have U, V, W, X. So to recap that last little bit, if that didn't make too much sense, basically every single sticker on the cube can be represented by a letter, and we're going to be able to memorize a chain of letters that'll probably be somewhere between 6 and 10 in order to solve the cube. Now, in an effort to try and make that last little bit make a little bit more sense and why we actually need this lettering scheme, I will do a few little short examples here. Now let's say that you wanted to solve this cube using the blind solving method. The very first thing you would have to do is locate the white, green, and red corner piece and position that in this little top right corner here, so you would be looking at the cube just like this. Now once we're holding it in the right orientation, as I mentioned earlier, we have to look at this sticker right here. This is the red sticker that is part of the white, blue, and red corner piece. Now on a solved cube, our white, red, and blue corner piece is located right here. And if we look at that spot again, we have the red sticker of that corner piece. So on a solved cube, that red sticker, which is part of that corner piece, would go right here, which is known as the letter N. Now, if this were a real blind solve, then you would write down or maybe just think to yourself, okay, letter N is the first letter of our code that we're going to have to memorize. Now from there, what you would have to think is, how do I get this piece to right here without disturbing this piece? Because remember, this piece cannot be disturbed. And so really the only way that you could do that would be to do an R prime and an F. And that would put that piece right here, because remember, with that swapping algorithm, it swaps this sticker and this sticker. So then you would perform the swapping algorithm and then undo the moves that you did to get it there. So we did an R prime and an F to get it there. So to get it back, you would do an F prime and an R. Now this one is a tiny bit more complex, so let's see if we can decode this one. So the very first thing that you always have to do is locate that white, red, and green corner piece, position that in the top right, and you are already holding it in the correct orientation. Then from there, you're going to have to look at this individual sticker right here and the piece that it's a part of. So this one is the blue sticker, which is part of the white, red, and blue corner piece. Now on a solved cube, we find that white, red, and blue corner piece, and we remember, okay, this individual sticker is the blue one, so on that corner piece, blue is right here, and that is the letter Q. So we would add Q to our little letter chain. So then we will go ahead and execute that, and to get the letter Q to this spot, which is our piece swapping location, we would do something like this. You would do an R and then a D prime. Now that individual sticker is in the swapping location, so we can perform that piece swapping algorithm, and then we have to undo our setup moves. We did an R and a D prime, so now we're going to do a D and an R prime. Then we look again. Here is our piece in that location. This is the yellow sticker that is part of the yellow, green, and orange corner piece. For the cube to be solved, our yellow, green, and orange corner piece is right here, and even more specific than that, we are swapping with the yellow sticker. So we look for the yellow sticker, and that is right here. So that is the letter U. So we would add the letter U to our little chain. And we have to figure out how to get that letter U to right there, which this one is pretty simple. That would just be a D to get it to the piece swapping location, perform the piece swapping algorithm, and then undo the setup moves. Now, in an effort to make this make a little bit more sense, I will do a full two-blind example solve. So follow this scramble. R, U2, back 2, U, R2, D. Now hopefully it looks a little something like this. So as always, you're going to take your cube, look around, and find that white, red, and green corner piece and put that in the top right corner. So you can always start by doing that. Then from there, we are going to look at that sticker right there. This is the orange sticker, which is part of the orange, white, and green corner piece. And we look, okay, for the cube to be solved, that would have to go right here. So on our finished cube, that would be the letter F. So we would add F to our little sequence of letters. Now, if you look at the sticker F, that is the orange sticker, which is part of the orange, white, and blue corner piece. And for the cube to be solved, that would have to go right back here, which gives us a little bit of a problem, because that means that in this current stage in the cube, this sticker, or this piece, would already be solved. So basically what we have to do is swap it with just any other sticker or any other piece that is unsolved. So just for a random sticker, let's pick the letter U right here. So we would add that to our little chain of letters. So then we look at the letter U, that is the red sticker, which is part of the red, green, and yellow corner piece, and for the cube to be solved, that corner piece is right here, and we're talking about the red sticker, so that's right there, so we would add the letter P to our little chain of letters. Now in that slot is the yellow sticker, which is part of the yellow, blue, and red corner piece, so on a solved cube, that is right back here, and we're talking about the yellow sticker, so that would go right there, and that is the letter W, so add W to the chain of letters. Now in slot W is the red sticker, which is part of the white, red, and blue corner piece, and for the cube to be solved, that would have to go right here. That is slot N, so then we would add the letter N to our little chain of letters. Now if we look at slot N, that is the blue sticker, which is part of the yellow, blue, and orange corner piece, and for the cube to be solved, the blue sticker of that corner piece would go right here, which is the letter S, so then we would add the letter S to our little chain of letters. Now if we look at slot S, that is the yellow sticker of the yellow, orange, and green corner piece, and for a solved cube that would go right here, which is the letter U. So we would add that to our chain of letters. Now if we recalled earlier on in the scramble, we had a piece that we had to just put in any other unsolved location, and we put that in slot U. So now that would move that piece once again back to this location. But luckily for us, we have now worked with every other piece on the cube, so that should be our complete chain of letters. So now we would go ahead and execute to see if we got that correct. Now in a real blind solve, you would have memorized that little chain of letters and then executed based on that, but just for the sake of the video, we will do this eyes open. So the very first letter in our chain of letters is the letter F. Now on the solved cube, that is right here, so we have to take this sticker right here and move that to our piece swap-in location without disturbing this piece. So we are going to do an F prime and a D in order to get it there, then do the piece swapping algorithm, and then undo our setup moves by doing a D prime and an F. And as we have noticed, this piece is now in the solved location. Now, if you recall, I had mentioned that because we swapped with this piece, that would move that sticker back to here. And ideally, in a perfect scenario, we would never want this piece to be solved until the end, because that just makes it more work for us. But we were able to get around that by just swapping it with some unsolved piece on the cube. And just by coincidence, I chose the letter U, which is right here on the solved cube. So we are going to move that to the piece swapping location, which this is a pretty easy one, just a D, then the piece swapping algorithm, and then a D prime to undo that. Now the next letter is P, which on a solved cube is right here, so we are going to move that down to here, and you would probably do that by doing an R and an F, perform the piece swapping algorithm, do an F prime and an R prime. Then next up we have W, which is this piece right down here, and so we would move that to here. This one's also pretty easy. You would just do a D prime. Now it's in the piece swapping location, so we can perform the algorithm, then undo that. Then after that we have the letter N, which on a solved cube is right here. So you would take that sticker and move it to here. You would probably do that by doing an R prime and an F, perform the algorithm, and then undo that. The next letter is S, which is located right back here. So to get this sticker to the swap-in location, we would probably do a D and then an F prime to get it there, perform the algorithm, and then undo that move. And then the last letter is a U, so we find U, that is right down here. And so in order to get this to there, you would just do a D, perform the algorithm, and then undo that. And just like that, the cube is solved. Now, in a true blind solve, you would have memorized that set of letters and then put a blindfold on and done it blindfolded, but that being said, I definitely think that you should do lots of practicing with your eyes open. I remember when I started to learn 2-blind, I tried to force the blindfold a little bit too early, and that just made learning a lot harder for me. So the best thing that you can do is just do some eyes open practice solves that will really help you get the hang of it. For the most part, that reaches the end of this tutorial. If you have any questions at all, complex or simple, I will try my best to answer them in the comments section. There are no bad questions whatsoever. And yeah, if this video helped you to learn 2-blind in any way, and hopefully someday 3-blind, then a like would be very much appreciated. And if this is the first time that you have ever seen my channel, I highly encourage clicking the subscribe button. I promise you won't regret it. I upload a new video every Wednesday and Saturday, and so yeah, other than that, hopefully you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.